Hi all, welcome to the Music Reel. Michael and Nikki here from Pushworth. Today we are joined by Mr. George Lignos, who is originally from Greece, moved here to Australia about 2 years ago with his family. He works here in the music industry. He's a producer, he's a live sound engineer, he is an amazing musician. He plays, luckily for me and my band, Geeves. And he also lectured at the JMC Academy in Brisbane. George, how are you going?
Hello, Michael. Thanks for having me. I'm good, and it's been a pleasure that I'm here with you.
Awesome. So, what have you been doing in lockdown? You were telling me the other day that you've been busier in lockdown than what you were before you're in lockdown. So, tell us a little bit about how lockdown's going for you.
No, most of my time I'm spending listening to music and studying, and also producing new music as much as I can, and try to catch up with technology. And I'm working with 3-4 artists at the moment, so I'm very grateful for that. With the lockdown, people came back to gather at homes, and they're trying to find new ways to make new music. So this is where I jump in, and I try to help them with that.
That's awesome.
So George, as you said, because of lockdown, so many artists have just become prolific with their writing. If they want to hire you as a producer, what would be, I guess, the top 3 things that you could recommend they do to be prepared before they come in and work with you in the studio?
Nice question. I think, first of all, the preparation is the most important element of the procedure. So nail down the track, lyrics, music-wise, harmonies. Make sure that they know all the parts. If they are band, they should be rehearsed enough, so everybody knows everybody's parts. Always a good thing to have all parts ready to go. But also from the other hand, they have to be also open to experiment and try to dig around and go into the rabbit hole and try to find new sounds, new music, because everything is open. When you press record, everything can happen. So be open and creative.
Be open and creative. Okay. I think that's a great idea. Now, in terms of, I guess, moving forward out of this lockdown, things obviously are not going to return to the way that they used to be, right? The life scene's going to be quite different. George, what do you see? What's your vision in terms of the future of music after this experience? Because everything has changed. What do you think?
I don't know, to be honest. For me, I'm just expecting, I'm hoping that everything will be back in normal, like, in next year and a half, because, the most impact happened to the live industry. So if you are dealing with live industry, like, gigging musicians, function rooms and all that stuff, this is the most affected area. Studio-wise, they always have been sharing into home studios, and, everybody, they couldn't afford the big luxury studios. So recording and making music has been more easy to last years. But the live music industry, I think that's gonna be the more affected from that.
Yeah, I agree. Michael, what do you think?
Yeah, look, it's good. We really just don't know how it's all going to shape up and how they're going to reopen, how they do things. There's inklings and there's different sort of pathways back and that sort of thing. But I think it's just so hard to sort of try and judge. But I think what we've sort of seen in the lockdown is a lot of musicians have been, doing live streams or writing music and working with producers. I know that George is producing our single for us at the moment, and it's been really good to work with a good producer, as opposed to working with some other not so great producers. So it's been really good for me to be sort of learning a little bit more than I thought about the recording process and what it means to actually listen to the producer. I know George was touching before on having your parts and that sort of thing, but I think George could probably expand on this. The importance of actually working with a good producer. Yes, you can record at home, and yes, you can put out a product that might be okay and it might to you sound really good. But George, tell us maybe about the importance of working with a producer like yourself.
A good thing when you have somebody that is a stranger to your music and to your band, for example, is that you can benefit from his third ear and all the history that he brings on the table. Makes everything more functional, I believe. And my job as a producer, that I like to say, is that to inspire other people, and through my knowledge and through my own musicality and through my music, help other people to go beyond their limits. And it's you have to know. I mean, you have to know music, and you have to also know about the engineering stuff. So having someone in the studio with you to take care of all the engineering stuff and leave you just on the music itself makes it more easy and more fun to be in the studio. So yeah, I think someone that knows and can make you sound better always is a good thing to have. But you have also to be open to that, because if you are emotionally connected with your music, it's not easy to leave other stuff to come in. So this is how you have to find a producer that you really trust, and he has an open palette of music and colors to add on your music. So yeah, be keen to go into the rabbit hole with him. It's an amazing gift. Not everybody has that.
That's interesting what you've said. When you're emotionally connected to how you think that the song should be, it's almost like you need the emotions to write and to create, but it also then closes you down to listening to the voice of reason. I mean, I know that as agents and managers, it's the same thing. If you're too emotional, it's quite hard to be able to, I guess, work with all these different people in your team. So that's a really good point you've made. I never thought about that before. So it's like, I guess, maybe as an artist, look at your emotional connection to what you're doing, and then maybe let it go, and then have a really good team to work with, a really good agent, manager, producer, publicist, and not be emotional about it, but just like have put a business plan in place, but trust the people in your team. So be open to your producer, be open to all of the people in your team. Good point, George.
Yeah. Don't mistake me. I mean, it's a good thing to be emotional too, but as you said, it's a whole team that surrounds the whole project. And you can, if you are trust and you have good people on your team, then everything is much easier to come. And it takes time. It's the building process that you have to build your future. You have to go step by step. First of all, the most important element is the music itself. So if you have good music, and music that can speak to people and that it has something to say, then if you do that right, then if you leave other people to help you with that, it's going to be much easier for you.
Great. No, that's great. Michael, do you have another question for George?
Who's your favorite guitar player, George?
Oh man, you don't ask that question, man.
Right.
You didn't ask that question, Michael.
No, so George, if people want to get in touch with you and want to work with you and that sort of thing, which I highly encourage people.
Yeah, me too.
What's the best way for them to get a hold of you, and what's the best sort of process to go through to start working with you?
First of all, social media, websites. You can find, you can listen to my music. I've been active the last 15 years as a musician, as a producer, and I mean, always, if you are outside and if you are on the street and you're looking for something, it's gonna be there for you. I mean, you have to find, and when you find something good, it doesn't have to be me or something. You have to feel that I can work with that guy. I can work. I trust him. Or I like his take on music, and it's a relationship.
Yeah, no, that's good, because we
just go there and dig.
Well, George, we're going to put all of your contact details, your social media, your website in this post to make sure that people can find you. And I think what you've said is important.
Find the right link.
It's about a relationship. It is. And
Yeah.
the relationship between an artist and a producer is so incredibly important, because you can't create that magic unless you guys are a team.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually, I mean, what you're losing with the COVID now. I mean, you're losing that relationship, that connection between people. No, we're losing that.
Yeah.
That's the bad, and I don't like that. I like to be in the same room with other people and twist knobs, turning knobs, and trying to find the right chord, make some noise. No, it's all the fun.
Love it. All right, George, thank you so much for talking to us today. I think it's been great for
What a
artists
pleasure.
to get an idea of what they need to do when they actually take that next step to work with a producer. I know that Michael's benefited a lot from working with you. I listened to the vocal track the other day. It sounds awesome. So super excited to hear how it's all going to work out. Everyone, we'll put George's details in the post. Make sure you reach out to him. George, take care in the remainder of this lockdown. And when gigs happen again, we'll see you live at some gig somewhere.
I'll see you on the road too.
You will. You will. See you guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.